gosu.com.
Welcome to IndieBinge, presented by gosu.com, the show where we highlight cool indie games and the points don't matter. That's right, the points are like references to TV shows that haven't been on the air in several years.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli meðal vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital.
It took me a while to figure out what the Banner Saga actually is. How could a game this visually distinct have slipped under my radar? After some research, I came across a ridiculously successful Kickstarter by Stoic Studios back in April 2012. Turns out, the Banner Saga is ultimately going to be an epic, turn-based single-player RPG experience. Which is great, because the entire time I was playing Factions, the free-to-play, head-to-head, online-only component of the Banner Saga, all I could think was, hey, this would be an amazing, epic, turn-based single-player RPG experience. That isn't to say that Factions itself is without merit. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. Factions is pure online one-on-one matchmaking-based combat. You and your opponent alternate turns using 6 pre-chosen characters on a gridded map. Each character has its own class and abilities, all of which take a little trial and error to fully optimize. When it comes to staying alive, your characters rely on 2 traits, armor and strength. Strength represents both health and offensive potential, while armor acts as a direct counter to your opponent's strength. When you attack, you choose between focusing on a character's armor or their strength. If you choose strength, you may diminish both their health and their offensive potential. However, if your target's armor is higher than your strength, you may miss completely, wasting the potential of the turn. Likewise, high strength versus low armor targets leads to added damage. Sometimes it's better to take guaranteed armor reduction over a chance at reducing strength. The armor-strength relationship is unique and forces you to think very carefully about your next move, but it's not the only clever mechanic at work here. For instance, regardless of numbers, you and your opponent always alternate turns until one of you has only 1 troop left. This means focusing down troops one at a time may not actually be the most advantageous tactic. 5 weak troops may lose to 3 strong troops because the opportunities for dealing damage are still even. Your troops have a number of other stats you can customize in addition to armor and strength. Among the most important are willpower and exertion. Willpower points can be used during a character's turn to add bonus damage to an attack, or to move extra squares on the grid. Exertion determines how many willpower points can be used at any given time. Once you've used some of a character's willpower, there's only one practical way to get it back. Whenever you kill an enemy, you gain a charge on the horn. During one of your character's turns, you may blow the horn to give them an additional willpower point. You can spread out your horn uses, or use them all at once for a massive willpower burst. Improving your characters in Factions is achieved by meeting 2 conditions. The first is simple. Use the character to kill enough opponents that they become eligible for leveling up. Whoop-de-doo. The second is by spending renown. Renown is effectively currency, and where the whole freemium model really kicks into play. After every battle, you earn a certain amount of renown based on a variety of factors, like winning or losing streaks or other achievements, etc. You can then use that renown to modify your troops at the Proving Grounds, leveling up troops who've earned enough kills or changing their names or appearances. Like in most freemium games, renown accumulates slowly, and you are encouraged to purchase it. Naturally, the bulk $20 purchase is the most efficient. However, Factions avoids the buy your way to victory trap by maintaining a matchmaking system that always puts you up against opponents with troops of equal quality. You don't end up handicapped just because you haven't spent any money. More renown just makes things more interesting, that's all. There's also an ELO system that has a series of scoreboards to measure your ego with. You can also participate in weekly tournaments if your team meets the rank requirements. The art in this game is a goddamn masterpiece. It feels like a mix of Frank Frazetta and Don Bluth. The introductory cinematic is straight out of an early 90s animated feature film, and the in-combat animations are extremely smooth and detailed. There's a lot of love put into these characters, and I've never seen anything quite like the full aesthetic. I'd love to say something more witty or insightful about it all, but the work speaks for itself. I gotta few solid hours of enjoyment out of Factions before it started to get a little stale. Even if it isn't your thing, though, there's no consequence for giving it a whirl. The only things I've noted are that the tournaments are a little inaccessible from both a rank and timing standpoint, and that some of the freemium stuff is a little on the annoying side. For instance, do we really have to spend renown to change a character's name? Come on. That said, the matchmaking makes the game a reasonable experience regardless of financial commitment, and it serves as a great display of the gameplay we can expect when the single-player installment is eventually released. If you like to play chess with Vikings, Factions is for you. Want more IndieBinge? Click on subscribe.